Hello friends, this is Michael Canadas with the Carmel Doll Shop Boutique and the Grovian Doll Museum. Today we are launching our new product, which is Fanny and Friends. This has been in development for about 2.5 years, and today is the first day that we're going to offer this to the general public. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is how do you decide to make a product? What do you choose? One of the things that I have been very interested in our career, mine and David's career, is these Edwardian ladies made by Simon and Halbig. And what is very interesting about them, although they were made by Simon and Halbig during the SFBJ period, of the big conglomerate of Jumeau and Bru, etc., they worked with Simon and Halbig to supply heads for them. In their 1912 catalog, the most expensive doll that they offered over the character dolls, the Jumeau dolls, was this lady doll. And I believe that the reason that it was so prized was because it came costumed. And in the 19th century, early 20th century, costuming actually cost more than the doll itself. Now, it's very interesting because it's getting to the place of what we would consider the modern figure. I also have another interesting theory. David and I have handled in our business probably more Albert Mark dolls than most other dealers. Auction houses, of course, have handled more than we have, but I think we've handled 7. And what is very interesting is the body of the Albert Mark is very, very unique. And this body is very, very unique. And some of the flaws in the Albert Mark body, this body has. For instance, she can only stand like so. It doesn't do a straight up stand, although what we're going to show you, I think we've corrected that. And the other thing that is very interesting is this composition material and the Albert Mark, they're the only dolls I've ever seen with it. It's almost like very fine, almost like what you'd find a Japanese doll made, very smooth and silky. So this is the doll this is our doll Fanny. And she's just as she came back from the mold maker, which is Carl Armstrong. This is how she came back. She does have a wardrobe of clothes and wigs, etc., but I have to find them in this building's got lots of nooks and crannies, and I put it away. So the first thing I want to show to you is this is Miss Fanny Osborne. And this is how she will come. And here she is. Now, when we were developing it, we made some changes as the first prototype came out, the second prototype, third, and I kept putting more demands on Carl, such as, could we do the arms in bisque? Because if we're going to show short evening gowns and whatnot, cutaway, we need to have beautiful arms showing. He did that. Then I thought, well, why don't we do a bisque torso? So if we have evening gowns, we could show that. And then, of course, I am from the twist and turn Barbie era, and I thought, why not a swivel waist? So from here up, she's bisque, and from here down, it's composition, which is something for durability. Now, I will tell you, you have to be very careful with the arms. And if you are too rough, you could chip them easily. And we have anticipated that. So we have a whole stock of replacement arms. We did a class with Cheryl Williams with this doll a couple of years ago, and no one shipped a thing. And a couple of months later, a lady called back in a panic because she chipped a finger. And I said, no problem, I'll send you another pair. And she couldn't believe it. So we've anticipated that. So in the series, we have Miss Fanny Osborne, and then we have her sister Floria, and then their friends. And I will go through the friends, etc. Not to go out of order, but I also should let you know in the boutique, we've got some fabulous new fabrics that have come in. One lady wrote me an email and told me that I had something against red and that we're not providing any red for people. So we have done that. So we've got this gorgeous garnet red. This one I am just crazy about. We sent to be manufactured a piece of 18th century silk that was unfaded, perfect condition, but it came off of an 18th century garment where we could snip a small piece off. And I sent it, and they have replicated the color to perfection. So if you're working on 18th century dolls or this is just a fabulous color. Then we were desperate in need of a good quality black, not too heavy, not too light. So we've got a great black and we've got a great white. And then of course we had this 1860s check made. So I'm really happy to offer those into the lineup. So someone said, why do those people use a pointer? I'm going to tell you we use a pointer because this is all off script and our camera lady, Samantha, needs to know where I'm going. So I'm going to use this script. I am Portuguese, so I use a lot of hands and it makes it hard for her to follow along. So the first thing I'm going to show you is, you can see here, we have a wonderful collection of trunks. They're limited, and these were made for us by Barb Wazinski. And those of you that know her work, she is an impeccable craftswoman. So this is the trunk that opened up, and you can see that the doll will fit in this space. That is not glass. We did not want glass because we didn't want to have breakage, but you can see that you could tie your doll in there, and then all of these drawers have for shoes, feathers and ribbons, gloves and handbags, fans, etc. And then down at the bottom are for the biggies. And then of course you have your rack to hang up all your clothes. Now, we're going to be doing kits for the girls, but Emmy Award winner Timothy Alberts has done a fantastic set of underwear for the girls. And this is going to come as a pattern. So, I mean, this is really just an amazing piece of craftswork. So it'll come with a onesie, which she's wearing here, the onesie, and the full slip, one-piece slip, and then, which I think these are just to dye, these little garters. And it'll also come with the pattern for the stockings. So let me tell you the era that we're doing here. So we're starting in about 1910, and we're going to go on up until World War I. That's the era. Now, it's based on what we're doing is based on the fabrics that, some fabrics lend themselves to 1910, 1914, etc. So that's what we're basing it on. So it's a little bit of a mixed era. I know a lot of you want to do work in the 20s, and we will get there. But first, this is the eras that we're starting in. So here we have some wonderful accessories that have been made for us by a craftsperson. And you can see that the art direction is Alphonse Mucha, who was a great illustrator of the Art Nouveau period. And then we've got some wonderful hat boxes for Flora and Fanny. And then now we're going to move into looking at some clothes. So what is fun about this is those of you that have been doing your time doing Victorian work, this is totally different. This is a different aesthetic. You have a lot of draping and individual creativity, but you also have tailoring, almost male tailoring. So it's using both sides of sewing skills. So I'm going to start with I'm going to start with my favorite, which this is the 1913 version of a bubble dress. You know, it's not something that everyone would wear, but it was absolutely high fashion in, say, 1913. Paul Poiret, in history, he freed women's breasts. That's what they say. Interesting, he freed the breast and he freed women from corsets, but then he wrapped their feet together. So this is what you would call a hobble skirt, and they would really barely be able to walk in this. Matter of fact, trains and public institutions at the time had to put small steps so women could get up the steps. And even in the Titanic, women were not able to get up and down ladders, so the crew had to basically throw the women into the lifeboats. So this is one of my favorite pieces that we've done because it's just so high fashion and fun. I should mention that this is our doll Charling, and this will be a special order one. There's a few available, but if you want a Charling, you have to order it, and I think Carl Armstrong did a fantastic job with this. Now, while I'm on this subject, I should point out that if you notice, she has black gloves. So I'm going to point here and move these things out of the way so that we can get some light on the subject. So we have some extra pieces that if you'd like to have white gloves, you can buy this as a set, or black gloves. They're very easy to get on and off. So your doll will come with a basic skin tone, but if you want these extra bits, you can order those and then have fun playing with it because you can see it's sensational. You don't have to just use it with a evening gown. It could go with streetwear, you know, because ladies wore gloves. So this is one of my favorites, and I think I'll just lay her down for now. And then there's a variation here, and this is in the pink and blacks. The pink will be much more intense than this. When we made the original sample, we used some antique silk for the skirt part, and it did a little shedding and muddied up the color there. Then some of the beautiful evening gowns. Here's one that'll probably be a limited number. And the great thing about this evening gown is it's got a lot of intense work, but you don't have to do that because the pearls will all be pre-embroidered for you. And then speaking of pre-embroidery, I think I'm going to go next to this one. And construction-wise, this is probably the easiest dress of the lot to make. Very simple. The good news is that the beading will be pre-done. But it still will take some work to get that. And again, she's got the special arms. And then this is one of my favorites, I think, of what we've done. Now, I haven't yet told you the backstory of Fanny and Flora and all of their friends. But they live at a time when women were really, really fighting for their rights. Now, you might think, oh, this is a court dress, or this is a bridal gown. It is not. This is a political statement. What she is saying is, I am a suffragette. Whenever you see women in a political situation and they're all in white, they're sending out a signal that they are for women's right to vote. And of course, Fanny and Flora are both wealthy little heiresses, so they can afford to be political. No one's going to take away their job. So I'm going to lay her down. Oh, and I laid this out for you to see. Again, thank God you don't have to do this, but look at the tiny scale of the sequins. We were really lucky to find this because it's about the size of a thumbnail. So that would be a really good size for a sequin to do it for scale. I'm going to lay her down here. I'll do a little housekeeping and get these things out of the way. All right, so then we have another in the black and white series, because black and white started to be a fashionable thing. It wasn't white was a mourning color, black was a mourning color. But as the century went on, it started to become a fashionable piece. And here's another one that has beautiful embroidery that you do not have to do. And then, of course, we're playing with pleating. Now, I should tell you, in this period, most hems like this would be rolled. We're not doing rolled hems because this doll is 1 inch taller than Barbie. And if you start to do a rolled hem, it becomes very bulky and sausage-like. This gives you a very, very sharp bit. And I should tell you that we're going to teach you how to do this. We will be having a class shortly. Jeffrey Cook is going to come. I have not yet figured out how to sew and film at the same time. So Jeffrey's going to sew and I'm going to film, and we're going to teach you how to do these little tiny hems. So I'm going to leave her here. We'll just put her over there. And and then we have another character, because I introduced you to Charlene, but I didn't. This is Malia, and Malia is a Native American. The girls are very friendly to people of differences, and so this is one of their very good friends, Malia, and you can see that she's beautifully painted by Carl Armstrong. I will let you know that these are made in the United States of America, and this doll, to get this bisque tone and all of those decorations on it, has up to 7 fires. So it's a big process to make these. And they feel really, really good when you handle them. So this is not necessarily her dress. They can all share any costume. And this is one of my favorites too. This one's really, you can see why we decided to have the bisque arms, because we've got this cutaway. And this is a very, very fine cotton with a pre-embroidered sequins. And again, you can see they're just tiny. But it looks simple, but you get in here and you can see the lace and then all the sequins. Those you do have to hand sew. And of course, turbans were all the rage. So you would wear this in the evening or the daytime. Just a really nice piece. I'll put her over here. We're building up a pile. Again, we've got the peacock dress. So this is a wonderful, look at the little tiny print. It's little peacock feathers. And this one will have some special jewelry coming with it. And one thing oops, almost lost her. And this is the tulip dress. So you've got your hobble skirt, and then you've got a wonderful little mini print of tulips, and they're purple and lavender. Again, this is Fanny. If Fanny walked into a reception in New York City, wearing this dress, everyone in the room would know she was a suffragette. These are also suffragette colors, which is purple and green. So, you know, this will come with everything you see, including the shoes. Shoes have been an ongoing issue at our boutique. So we have learned to make shoes. So when you buy this kit, it will come with these shoes pre-made. And I think we're getting pretty good at it. We've had to make about 100 pairs that I've rejected till we're getting to the point that I like them. And I should talk to you about the hairstyles. There'll be 2 types of hairstyles. One will be a cottage bun, which is what this is called, and the other will be a curly. Now they come very, a definite style, but when you get them, you loosen them up because this era, the hair is starting to get very loosey-goosey. So that, I'll put her over here. We're building a pile. And so I've shown you so far evening wear. Now we're going to get into a little day wear. So here we have, this is actually antique linen and a beautiful, this is a promenade suit. Again, you can see it's hobble, but it's a little easier to walk in. And I would imagine that a lot of ladies preferred this with a little chiffon over drape and then a cartwheel hat. That's called a cartwheel because it's the shape of a cartwheel. Now, the thing that's so great about this era is the creativity that you can do in hats. Hats can be tiny, hats can be giant. It's an unlimited amount of things that you can do with a hat. And this is a flora. So put flora there. And so the next I think I should show you is our day wear. So these are all suits. They all come with, you can see this blouse is called a waistcoat. That was the, shirt waist, I'm sorry, a shirt waist. That was an essential part of every woman's wardrobe in the last century, the early part of the last century. So it will, this suit will come with everything you see, including the jacket, a fabulous cartwheel. And this one does not come with a jacket because I thought it looked just so super like so. I should point out to you too that be imaginative if you want to play this. I just found this bag today, and this is in the Huret department of our accessories. So you can shop over there and find things that will absolutely work with these dolls. And then this one, I think, is very imaginative. And Diane von Furstenberg thinks that she invented the wraparound dress, but it was during World War I that really became a thing, and that had to do with nurses' uniforms. So here we have a wraparound skirt. Now, we do have a nice selection of shoes that were made for us by Pat Hauser. So if you're doing your own thing and you're not buying our kits and you're not getting the shoes, you can get them from Pat at the boutique. Then I should show you, these are all our tea dresses. So these are ladies that are all gonna go to tea, and they're in nice chiffons and chiffons and silks and just some wonderful prints. And here you can see our girl with her ginormous hat. Do you know that in this era, hats could weigh up to 20 pounds? And a lot of bird species went extinct because of the fashion craze for feathers in hats. And then I will show you too, this is one of our newest girls, and this is Veronique. And she is our African-American girl. And I think that Carl did a really beautiful job with her. We only have her as a sample right now. If you want her, that would be something you'd have to pre-order. And I will tell you that the lips are gonna just be a tiny bit pinker. I mean, I love the lips the way they are now, but you know, ladies started to wear rouge and lipstick and things. But again, she can share all the things that the other dolls do. And then we have some extra things like this curly lamb hat and muff. And the interesting thing is it really will work with all of the suits beautifully. And then we have all these hair ornaments that are just super duper. You could change the feathers and then have it work with multiple ensembles. And then I know that not everybody sews, but one of my favorite things that we have in the Grovian collection is this set of paper dolls from about 1912 or so. And you can see where we get a lot of our inspiration as an original source material. it has this trunk, which I think is amazing. It even has hat boxes for all of the hats. So that's a fun little piece. And then some face screens, we have those to offer. And this fan, again, this is in that Suffragette color that they loved. And this oops, well, no, caught. It'll come in this fun little box. Now, this is something that is invaluable if you're doing this project because it's fiddly. It's doable, but it's fiddly. So this is Fanny and Flora and Company's dress form, and this is made from the same mold that her torso is made from. So basically, if you have this, you don't have to overwork your doll. You can use this to do your pinning and whatnot. And we had this big base made so that when you're displaying your dress, you have a little platform for your shoes and any of the accessories. So when you're doing your tableau, it shows really, really nice. There will be a limited stock of those, but we will get more. So if we sell out, we will put more, and just you will have to know that it'll take a little time to make them, because again, they're handmade. Carl makes those for us, and all of those things. It's made out of a paper mache, basically the same material that the body is, and then it has to be covered and all of that. But it makes for a nice thing. For instance, when you have the coats, to be able to put the coat so that you can see what's underneath, it shows off better. Now, one thing I want to show you that is going to be available as a variation, because it just came in. So Samantha, who's filming this, designed this fabric for us. And I've gotten a beautiful card. We get a lot of cards from people with exquisite taste and people who make cards, and it had a peacock feather on it. So I walked it over to Samantha and I said, I need this in fabric. So she designed this. So this is a sample. So what I think I'm going to do is we're going to make this pattern. And by the way, she designed this too, because this is the famous rose. So this is black rose. This fabric with this blue is going to make this. And then what we'll do is we'll find a tiny little part of a peacock feather for the headpiece. So I think there's more, but I think I've gotten you pretty well filled in with what we're doing. As I said, the project, we're going to have a lot of talented people come into this. Timothy Alberts is working on various projects for this that are going to be really sensational. The next stop we're going to do is we're going to do some what I call occupational ensembles, and then Timothy is going to do adventure, and then we're going to just see how this goes. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun doing this project, and they're small, so it's something that you could really, in a day or two or three, you could get together a really wonderful outfit. Anyways, friends, I hope you tune in and see what we have for offer, and have fun, and you have a great day. Bye-bye.